Recent big rumors have been going around about the production of a World War Hulk movie in the MCU, even supposedly starting production as early as 2022. So let's see where these rumors come from and why this would be such a big deal. If you're interested in future Marvel content, feel free to subscribe and stick around for a bunch of different future content. So this rumor comes from an article from the website GWW, or Geeks World Wide, where they say they have quote-unquote learned that a Hulk movie is on the way and is currently being called World War Hulk. They also go on to say that their source has been accurate before, and that if this continues to be accurate, that this would mean that the rights to the Hulk have reverted back to Marvel Studios from Universal. This is a good point to add when we talk about this, because the main reason we have not seen a standalone Hulk movie since 2008 was because the rights to the Hulk were owned by Universal. That's why there's been nothing but, cameos in Avengers and other MCU movies from him, and why the series of movies of Thor Ragnarok, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame were sort of like a trilogy arc for the Hulk, so that we could see more character development from him without him getting his own solo movie. Now, in the article on Geeks Worldwide, they don't drop the source for their rumor, which can always be seen as suspect. However, not too long after they posted this insider scoop, it got picked up everywhere from places that could be seen as having more credibility, and it's just been widely reported on since then, which at least must be worth something towards their own credibility. So if we do end up seeing this World War Hulk movie, though, it will end up being very different from its comic book counterpart. In the comics, World War Hulk is a story that follows the Planet Hulk story, which we have already seen kind of a partial adaptation of in the MCU. Planet Hulk is a story where the Hulk was banished from Earth by the Illuminati and landed on a planet called Sakaar, where he had to fight as a gladiator there and become the champion. In the comics, the Hulk leads a revolt of sorts against the ruler of Sakaar, who in the comics was known as the Red King, and he fights him in a one-on-one fight and wins. After this, it kind of ends up sort of being, it leads to a happy ending kind of, where he has a wife known as Sierra. I'm going to be honest, I'm not really entirely sure how to pronounce that. Caiera. I think it's Sierra, but she becomes pregnant with his child. However, after all this stuff happens, the ship that the Illuminati had banished the Hulk in, so they put him on a ship and banished him. It was actually supposed to be a different planet than Sakaar, but he actually got sucked up through a wormhole and ended up on Sakaar. But regardless, the planet that the Illuminati sent him on ended up blowing up in like a catastrophic level type of explosion. Like, it destroyed the entire city, and in the process, it kills his wife. Now, because of this, he's obviously the Hulk's whole thing is rage. So this sends him into basically a blind, like he's just driven by rage, and he goes to He goes to Earth to begin what is known as the World War Hulk story. One of the reasons why the World War Hulk story is favorited by comic fans is because we get to see Hulk in a state that you've never really seen him in before. Like, he is referred to in this story as World Breaker Hulk, which is one of the strongest iterations of Hulk that we've ever seen. There are some that could be debated as more powerful, but either way, World Breaker Hulk is one of the most powerful versions of the Hulk that has ever been seen. To the point, at one point, he is able to take one step and he shakes the entirety of the East Coast of the United States. And what's so fun about this story is that he basically is on a journey to get some type of vengeance against all of the members of the Illuminati, and in the process, he fights a bunch of different Marvel heroes. For example, he fights the entirety of the X-Men in an attempt to get at Charles Xavier, and it's almost basically no contest when he fights the X-Men. Since we've already seen an adaptation of the Planet Hulk story, the World War Hulk story that will be told in the MCU will definitely be different than the comic book one that a lot of people are familiar with. It's also worth noting that Hulk is confirmed to be returning in the She-Hulk Disney Plus series, which is going to air in 2022. So there's reason to believe that the events of the World War Hulk movie, if it's true, will stem from the events of the She-Hulk series. So if these rumors are true, it'll be great to finally see the Hulk be done justice on the big screen, and at least in terms of action. I don't necessarily think his character arc from Ragnarok to Endgame was the worst, but I definitely feel like, especially with Infinity War, with how big of a scope of a movie that was, I feel like we should have seen a lot more action from the Hulk in Infinity War and Endgame. I know one of the kind of drafts for the movie, and they actually filmed the scene for Infinity War, involved the Hulk and Bruce coming onto like some type of even grounds and agreement at the end of the movie, and then the Hulk busts out of the Hulkbuster armor to fight Cole Obsidian. That's what should have happened, in my opinion. I feel like they shouldn't have scrapped that idea, and they should have kept it. But regardless, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and I appreciate you for watching.